All right. So, you told me you were thinking about a longer trip down to the U.S. this spring. And well, this is pretty important for you. Then we're gonna take a deep dive into a recent update from Canada on travel to the States.
Okay.
Trying to understand, what this new advisory actually means for Canadians.
Right.
Especially those of you who are thinking about heading south for, more than a quick trip.
Yeah, for sure.
So, what's really caught my eye here is this key change.
Okay.
Starting April 11th. Canadians staying in the U.S. for more than 30 days.
Wow.
They've got this new requirement now.
Okay.
They need to register with the U.S. government.
Oh, wow. So it's not just like
It's not just a suggestion.
Oh.
It's like mandated by this recent executive order, which is basically, a directive from the president.
Right from the top.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, let's
Show up from the top.
let's get right to the source here.
The Canadian government's travel advisory, it states quite clearly, and I'm quoting here,
Okay.
Canadians and other foreign nationals visiting the United States for periods longer than 30 days must be registered with the United States government.
Right.
And it's not something to take lightly either.
No.
The advisory also mentions potential penalties, fines,
Yeah.
or even misdemeanor charges for not doing this.
Exactly. And, if we think about who this really impacts the most,
Yeah.
it's got to be all those Canadian snowbirds
Right.
who are used to spending, months in warmer U.S. states.
Right. Just escaping the winter.
Yeah, during those, colder months up north.
Right.
And traditionally, Canadians could visit the U.S. for up to 6 months.
Right. No problem.
Without needing a visa. So this new rule, it's a pretty big change.
Huge change, yeah.
For those extended stays, for sure.
So if you were planning on, escaping the Canadian spring for a couple months of sunshine down south,
Yeah.
there's this extra step now.
Yeah.
Not just booking your flights anymore.
Yep.
It's more than that for sure.
So this kind of raises the question then.
Yeah.
How do you actually make sure you're registered?
That's a good question. So travelers, they can check their I-94 admission form
Okay.
on the U.S. Customs and Border Protection website.
CDP.
Yeah, the CBP, exactly. And the I-94, it's basically your electronic record of entry into the U.S.
Gotcha.
And here's something interesting. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security,
Okay.
they've noted that automatic registration upon arrival, it might not always happen.
Wait, really?
Especially for certain groups of travelers. So it's definitely worth double checking online.
Don't just assume it's taken care of.
Exactly.
You got to be proactive.
Be proactive. Absolutely.
Now, kind of zooming out a bit here.
Yeah.
This update, it doesn't happen in isolation.
Right.
We've seen this kind of rise in political friction.
Yeah, for sure.
Between Canada and the U.S., disagreements on trade.
Mm-hmm.
Some pretty pointed public statements.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it makes you wonder,
It does make you wonder if this new travel regulation is somehow connected.
Right, is it related?
Yeah, to these bigger tensions.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Policy changes like this.
Yeah.
They often do reflect the wider geopolitical landscape.
Right. It's all connected.
And it's not just Canada adjusting its advice either.
Really?
CDV News has reported that other countries too.
Oh, wow.
Like the UK, Germany, Denmark, Finland.
Wow.
They've also updated their travel guidance for the U.S.
So it's a trend.
It seems to be suggesting, this broader trend of increased caution regarding travel to the States.
So for you, the listener, planning that longer trip, and for any other Canadians looking to spend more than 30 days in the U.S., the big takeaway here,
the crucial takeaway,
is this new registration requirement.
You got to know about it.
Make sure you know about it.
Understand how to check your I-94.
Yeah, be prepared.
And make sure you're compliant before you even travel.
Yeah.
Taking a few minutes to do this now could save you a lot of trouble down the road.
Absolutely worth it.
Definitely.
Now, this whole thing, it makes you think.
Yeah, it does.
What are the the bigger effects of these changing international travel rules?
Right. What does it all mean?
What does it say about how things are changing between neighboring countries?
Yeah, even when established travel norms are being adjusted like this.
Exactly.
It really gives you something to think about.
It does.
Regarding this evolving relationship between Canada and the U.S.
Yeah, interesting stuff.
It's complex.
Lots to consider.
Definitely.
All right, well, thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Thanks for having me.
We'll be back next time with more.
Looking forward to it.
See you then.
See you.
Bye.